One bright and sunny morning, a mysterious traveller with long, dark, frizzy hair and a blue silk jacket arrived at a small village on the outskirts of a huge, gloomy forest. In the middle of the village, the traveller bumped into a frail, wrinkled old woman and said to her, "Good day, my fine lady. Could you spare me some food? I have been travelling for many days and I am so hungry I could eat a horse." "Well, there's no horses for you to eat here, and I haven't got any food to spare, so good day to you," snapped the old woman rather unkindly. Without saying another word, the strange traveller sat down on a rock and took out an old rusty cauldron from a yellow backpack. He made a small fire and poured in some water from his water bottle. Once the water had boiled, he reached into his pocket, took out a small jagged stone and dropped it into the water. Plop. He reached into another pocket and took out a battered old wooden spoon. He stirred the contents of the cauldron for a minute, took out the spoon and tasted the liquid. "What does it taste like?" asked the old woman, who stood curiously watching the traveller. "This soup tastes as beautiful as a rainbow on a spring morning," replied the traveller, licking his lips. "But I have been using my stone for a long time now, and some of the flavour has gone. It would taste even better with a few vegetables." Without another word, the old lady went to her house and quickly came back with some carrots, onions, and potatoes. The traveller placed the vegetables in the cauldron, stirred the ingredients with his battered old wooden spoon, and tasted the soup. "How does it taste now?" said the old woman with more interest. The traveller smacked his lips and replied, "This soup tastes like the happiest smile from the happiest unicorn on the happiest summer's day. But the stone has lost a little more flavour, so it needs some seasoning." The old woman was curious to know how much better the soup could be, so went home and fetched salt and pepper. The traveller placed the salt and pepper in the cauldron, stirred the ingredients with his battered old wooden spoon, and tasted the soup. "How does it taste now?" queried the old woman. The traveller swallowed the soup and replied, "This soup tastes like the sweetest song from the most beautiful songbird, but the stone has lost a little more flavour, so it needs some herbs." So the old woman went home and returned with some thyme, basil, and chives. The traveller tore the herbs apart and threw them into the cauldron. Once more, he stirred the ingredients with his battered old wooden spoon and tasted the soup. The traveller dipped the spoon back into the cauldron again and again, making yummy noises while he drank and slurped. "How does it taste now?" asked the old woman. The traveller put his hand into another pocket and pulled out a wooden bowl. He dipped the bowl into the cauldron and filled it with the soup. "Why don't you have a try?" said the traveller. The old woman took the bowl, lifted it to her nose and sniffed. "This smells like clouds on the top of a mountain." She then took a sip of the soup. "This tastes like the tears of an angel. I wish I too could make stone soup." With a twinkle in his eye, the mischievous traveller reached into the bottom of the now empty cauldron and took up the stone. He wiped it with a spotty handkerchief and gave it to the old woman, who held it in her hand and stared at it in disbelief. "Here, it's yours," said the traveller. "Now you can have stone soup any time you want." And without saying another word, the strange traveller walked out of the village and was never seen again.